actually pressed record on that
Oh my
video.
God, the whole time. Bro, are you even recording on the
Okay, let me
audio?
talk close to the
There we go.
mic. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Okay.
that. That's
You're
good.
familiar with this stuff.
Of course.
Why are you familiar with this stuff?
I used to video and audio people in public.
Wait, did you?
Yeah.
Like YouTube stuff?
No. Kind of just for like my own vanity. Like if I heard a train or a bus that sounded really cool, I would pull out my phone and just record the ambience of the bus.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what's your name?
My name is... Should I give out my full name?
Do you want to give out your full name? Is it a problem? Is
No.
it too long?
No, I signed up for this open mic like a couple of weeks ago, and I don't know how
You don't have to give your real name.
this guy knew my full name.
You don't like that?
No, it's cool. Because Gilbert's pretty funny. That's a funny name. What do you think, Alexis?
Gilbert. It's okay.
It's a pretty funny name, right?
It's almost like the equivalent of Albert. A lot of Bert. I think Bert in a name is funny.
Bert?
Yeah.
Bert Anguiano.
I think Bert is just a funny name too.
Yeah.
Like from Bert and Ernie.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so don't give your full name then.
All right. I just did, but
Gilbert.
if you call it that. Yeah.
Do you want to give your last name?
I did.
Oh shit. I'm all over the place right now. Give me a break.
Gilbert Anguiano.
Okay.
That's my full name.
And let's talk about your podcast first.
Sweet.
Can
What do
you
you
also
wanna know?
say I'm Gilbert and I'm being seriously?
I am Gilbert and I'm being seriously.
Cool. I'm going to record that and I'm going to post it all over Instagram and YouTube, and
Awesome.
you're the first person to do that.
That's the Cameo thing?
Yeah.
It's like Cameo,
Yeah.
but Alexis.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's because I have a hard time starting the episodes, and I was listening to yours and you started different a few times, but it's more or less like pretty...
This is the roast of my podcast today, ladies and gentlemen.
It's more or less pretty polished, like, you know, professionally done. And
You think so?
I need to get a little more polished.
But do you think
I
so?
think a little too
Which one did you
messy.
hear?
I've heard several.
The latest one?
But the latest one is the one I heard recently.
Oh, okay.
And it sounds good.
Who was that? Do you remember who I was talking to? So I don't.
Fu Hauser?
Oh, yeah, Fu Hauser.
Yeah.
He's chill.
I really like that name. My dad's a big fan of Gill Hauser.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't know who that was, honestly.
yeah, he was like on PBS, and my dad used to just like watch his show all the time. So
Gotcha.
my dad's like a history type of person.
Sweet. Yeah, Fu Hauser's the same way, but he's just like a little bit more Mexican than Fu Hauser.
Yeah, which is really cool because my dad would be into that, and I've already told him about him.
Californiography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Shout out, dude. Okay, so you heard that one. Okay, awesome. All right.
So yeah, no, I've heard several. I actually went back to your first episode.
Oh my God, this is the roast of the Mindbuzz podcast that you can find on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
If I'm ever on your show, you can go back to my first episode and it's trash. Yours sounds like 1,000 times better than mine.
No, I think everybody's first episode, I think anybody's first of anything is just fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Imagine, you remember walking, how terrible that was? Like your first step.
I
It was
don't
probably
remember.
awful.
No.
Yeah. So
It might have been.
first thing of anybody is awful. Like
Except
first
you're taking
girlfriends.
steroids, so it
Yeah.
might.
First
it might
girlfriend
have
is
not
awful.
been Good.
Steroids are awful. The first time I took steroids were awful.
Yeah, the problem with me is that I am taking steroids right now for my lungs, and I don't think it's helping me. 'Cause
No,
I
you
still
just
can't
look
breathe.
like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right? I'm sitting next to
I'm
Arnold
just getting
Schwarzenegger.
buffer as
You're just
we
getting
speak.
buffer and mad. Roid rage.
Okay, so I want to dissect your podcast and your experience
It's
podcasting.
the roast. Okay, cool.
No, I want to learn from you.
Right now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, let's go. What do you want to know?
Okay, so do you put time into thinking how you're going to start off your podcast, or you just kind of are just...
So at the beginning, I didn't do that, right? But I was getting a lot of suggestions from the label that I'm a part of, which is My Grito. They're a podcast network. And the main guy that kind of houses all of us and gets us our money. I mean, not always on time, but it's fine. It's fine, Oscar.
You're calling him out right now.
Oscar, we need more money and more sponsors. But he suggested that in a very constructive way, bro, you need to build a little bit more structure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which was fine.
Yes.
I mean, I was like, as you're doing something wrong, but then I thought about like, it took me a couple of weeks to where I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll try it. And the Fu Hauser one podcast episode was I think the fourth time of me doing like a new kind of intro, the podcast. So we started 3, 2, 1 music. Welcome to the podcast. This is a podcast where we da.
Yeah.
So I'm telling the audience.
Is that scripted, by the way?
It is. I wrote it down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to memorize it, but it's terrible.
Down.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's terrible when you have like your brain is just like you have all these different things. Just write shit down.
I really need to get in that habit of starting like to write things down. Yeah, because I'm not structured and I'm not polished. And initially I wanted it to be like that, but I feel like it complicates things when you have new guests every time because they kind of don't know what to expect and they don't know what's going to happen.
But this is your kingdom. This is your show.
Yes.
They're here for you. So you gotta, I mean, you're on steroids already. So you can claim your dominance at the beginning of the podcast. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I can definitely claim dominance like in the center of the episode, but in the beginning and the end, I'm like, oh, I don't know how to start this.
Oh, okay. Well, try out different things.
Anyway, so let's go to questions about you because it's not about me today.
It's all about you. I'm here for you. I fixed your equipment. We're on a good start.
Okay. So when did you get started with your podcast? And what's your podcast name?
My podcast name is called The Mindbuzz. You can find it on Spotify and YouTube. There you go.
When did you start it?
2020.
Why?
I was bored.
For real?
I was on mushrooms and I was bored.
And you just said, I'm going to do this.
I'm going to start a podcast.
How did you initially start it? Like, what equipment did you get?
I got the cheapest. Well, I didn't get it.
What software did you use?
Amber, my co-host and my lifelong partner,
Shout out to Amber.
Shout out to Amber. Bought me the cheapest, most discounted, most used microphone on the internet that she can find.
Okay.
On Amazon.
Nice. How much was it? Do you remember?
It was like $30.
Okay.
Once I found out how much it was, I was like, you know what? I want to do like an interviews-based podcast. So I bought like 4 extra.
Okay. And you got like the ones with the stands or like...
Yeah.
Just like the holding ones?
Yeah, the ones that clamp onto the desk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Because for me, I use mini mics occasionally.
Are they USB?
No, they're like Bluetooth.
Oh, the ones that like clip on. Oh, okay, that's cool. Those are cool.
And surprisingly, they're very good with like noise cancellation. As opposed to like some other mic that I used that was like bigger and more professional.
Can I curse on here?
Yeah. Why does everybody ask that?
It's just is
everybody doing a joke on me? Because
Yeah.
I swear every person that comes on this podcast is like, can I curse?
We always,
So you
people
guys are
always
taping
ask.
up, right? And
Yeah.
everyone's just making.
Yeah,
a
we
joke
have
out of
this
me.
Reddit stream that we have just that it's growing. So each
Okay.
guest
That
you
makes
have,
sense.
the Reddit grows. So it's good. We're becoming a great community of just cool people that have been doing your podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on the Truman Show now.
Mm-hmm. You should.
Yeah.
Those steroids are not steroids at all.
Yeah. I'm probably high right now.
Probably.
Okay. So you got the equipment
Sure.
and you started your podcast? What do you remember? What day? Like, you know,
Jeez.
Who was your guest? Because I know who your guest was, but like, do you remember who your guest was?
Of course I do. It was Andy.
Okay.
Andy was the man.
Wasn't it Shandy?
Schmandy.
Schmandy.
That's what I called him. Schmandy Schman.
Okay.
Yeah. So initially we were going to start the podcast together, both of us. But then after the pandemic, I was already talking about starting something creative. And we had another friend, Adam. The three of us were going to start it. We're just going to talk about drugs and our life and our experiences and what was going on in the world. And from there, I think Adam did a couple of episodes like months after. But yeah, Andy was my first guest.
Okay. You talk about drugs a lot. Do you have a problem?
Yeah.
You need to go to AA. Have you ever been to AA?
Yeah. Surprisingly, I have.
You like it?
It's kind of like this interview.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
There's
a lot of trauma.
On. Yeah.
Yeah. You like got right into it because you sent me the list of questions.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, why do you do podcasts and stuff? Is it because of your trauma?
Yeah. Do you have a lot of trauma?
I have a lot.
Do you think that's why?
Out of me.
Do you think it's why? Okay, because I feel like me and my boyfriend talk about this a lot because we don't take
It's a hot topic.
We don't
in relationships.
We don't take a lot of things seriously.
Okay.
That's the joke of the whole show too. Right?
Okay, awesome.
I'm being seriously.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
And well, it's also because I can't speak well. So.
Gotcha.
That's another thing.
I can't speak well. I'm going to start a podcast. Got it.
I'm going to practice so I can speak better. And I'm being seriously because I've said that before when I was younger. I was a teenager. And I remember I told one of my friends something like, stop, I'm being seriously, you know.
Is Spanish your first language?
You know, technically.
Is it an ESL thing?
No, I'm not going to claim that because I could definitely claim I'm a no sabo kid.
The ESL podcast.
But my mom says Spanish was my first language. And then she said that when I went to school, I just stopped speaking it.
Oh.
She didn't practice with me. So that was it. That was the end of my journey with Spanish.
No sabo power over here.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'll claim it. It's fine.
Yeah. The parking attendant outside asked me if I knew Spanish. That was like one of the first questions he asked me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He hates me.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Because you don't speak Spanish?
He's really cool.
Oh, okay. What's his name? Can we say his name?
Enrique?
Mario?
I don't know his name.
Jose?
I don't know his name. Is this a test or are you like for real?
It's Mario probably.
We'll find out.
This is going good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
High
struggling
five, dude.
here.
High five. Hell yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about your name the other day.
Yeah. You're going to call me Alexa.
No, I was thinking about, I was like, okay, Alexis. But it's like Alex is.
Yes.
So what, do you have a middle name?
Nicole.
Alex is Nicole.
Yes.
If you break it down.
So maybe I'm just Nicole.
Yeah.
Everyone fucks up my name. They call me Alexa.
Really?
And I blame Amazon. It's fine.
Fucking Jeff Bezos.
I get over it, but internally it still bothers me.
Bro, he's ruining the country with Amazon and he's fucking up your name.
All the Alexises out there.
Right.
We are now Alexa.
You guys should start a Reddit community.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do that.
You should.
Going back, because I completely lost track of what I was asking you initially.
We were talking about how I started the podcast.
Yes. So it was supposed to be 3 of your friends.
Yeah. Initially, it was supposed to be 3. Adam was a punk ass, so he was like, I don't want to do it. So he kind of backed out. Me and Andy did 3 episodes. We recorded the 3 episodes in one day. And that was it.
And then when did he decide he didn't want to do it?
Oh, it was a COVID thing. Like he got COVID because I started in 2020. Mm-hmm. And he got COVID one time and he was like, oh, like we got COVID many a times, but that was the first time he got it. And I didn't know like about, that was like around the weird time where like should we hang out? Should we not? Should I shake your hand?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Should I let you into my house?
Were you an anti-vaxxer?
Jesus.
I feel like I need to face this camera more. It's just like, okay. Were you an anti-vaxxer?
No. Were you?
Was I an anti-vaxxer?
Yeah.
I mean, I got vaccinated. I'm just going to say that.
So you were an you were anti-vaccinated.
I'm anti-vaccinated.
Oh, okay.
Cancels out.
No, I really didn't want to get the vaccine. Like Amber made me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, most boyfriends were forced to get vaccinated, I think.
Yeah. I think most boyfriends are just forced to do anything.
Anyway, going back to what I was telling you about my boyfriend and I. So we share this thing in common where we laugh our pain away, right? And
that was poetic.
Yes, we laugh.
Dang, you're a podcaster and you do poetry?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So that's like something we have, I don't know, that's brought us together in a way. Trauma is crazy. And if you don't know how to laugh about it, then you're going to be miserable for the rest of your life.
Right.
It's kind of either or.
Yeah, I think if you don't, because it's energy, right? Like I feel trauma is energy that we are holding.
Mm-hmm.
And energy needs to be in movement in some way. If you don't know where to put that energy,
mm-hmm.
then you just keep it inside. It's hard to keep stuff inside.
So you're around the same age as me.
Sure.
You're clearly older, but
I look older, yeah.
You...
I have hair, by the way. This is, I can... I don't shave it because I don't have hair.
Yeah, that's what everyone says.
It's hot. LA's hot, dude.
It's pretty hot. Okay. Now I lost my train of thought.
Trauma.
Okay, this is how I need to stay
hot
focused.
Hot button issue.
This is why I need to write things down.
Jeez.
Okay. Trauma. And did you realize at a later age that you were hit with, burdened with all your trauma? Because, okay, for example, and I probably didn't say that correctly. For example, I normalized everything when I was younger. So it wasn't until my late 20s where I realized, oh, shit, that wasn't normal. Or, I would tell a story to somebody and they'd be like, oh, man, how did you get through that? That sucks. And I'm like, what? That was my life.
They're like, damn, that's fucked up.
Yeah. You're just like, what? I normalized that for so long.
Uh-huh.
And then I had to tell my therapist, that's not normal.
Yeah.
So did you realize at a later age that you had trauma?
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I'm barely figuring that out, now.
Okay.
Yeah, there's, so much shit. We'll get into it later. How much time do we have? 5 hours. Gotcha.
We got about 50 minutes, so you're good.
Even
though yours episodes are fucking 4 hours, but
3 hours.
It's
the most has been 3 hours and 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, go back. Sorry.
Okay. I'm finding that the trauma that I have, that I'm barely finding, just like you, I'm finding out that is trauma. It wasn't normal. Mm-hmm. And what do I need to do to not fix it, but what do I need to do to release this trauma?
Right.
To get over it.
Do you go to therapy?
I did. I tried it and it was really expensive.
It is.
So, and then, it was cool. My first experience with therapy. I can't even say it. But with therapy and I don't know, it was good. It was cool. Yeah. I'd try it. I try it again. But it's just really expensive.
It's definitely not a one-time fixes everything. No. There's so many years to unravel.
Right.
So, and it is expensive. It's stupid expensive.
Yeah, I think my every time I'd go was $60 for an hour.
That's crazy.
Or even more. I think it was $85 an hour.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
So when did you learn that, like, oh, maybe I'm just going to use my, like, sense of humor to cope with things?
I think that started... Okay, so it started happening when I was younger. Because I don't know if... All right, I'm going to give you an exclusive.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do this.
All right. I lost my mom at 12 years old.
Okay.
And I think from that, comedy was the only thing that, like, helped me get through stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it was just through that and then disassociating, like, mentally.
Okay.
Like, I still do it now.
Uh-huh.
Like, when I'm in an uncomfortable situation, I disassociate.
Okay. What does that describe that?
Like, disassociating?
Yeah. Like, how do you do it?
Like...
And when?
Zone out in my head.
And you're just not there.
I'm not there.
Okay.
Like, Amber would be like, we'll be in conversation or like in a weird setting, and I would just zone out. And she was like, hey, like, did you get any of that? I'm like, no. She's like, you zoned out, didn't you? I was like, yeah.
Do you think
this conversation is fucking terrible?
So it's selective when you disassociate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you disassociating right now?
Yeah. Why? You can see the zone.
I'm just like, I'm a little disassociated too.
Yeah, I think that it's a natural response to anything that is nearly uncomfortable.
Right.
And I use that.
This is kind of uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah. Very uncomfortable.
Do you ever have guests that are like really too uncomfortable, or they're nervous, or?
Very nervous.
Does that happen often?
Often.
Really?
Yeah. And it's with people that usually don't do podcasts, you know?
Yes.
But I like those because it's fun for them and it's fun for me because I get to show somebody something new that I like.
Yes.
To talk about what they like.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So we're sharing things.
Yeah. I feel uncomfortable almost every single episode that I do. And
that's good.
That's good?
Yeah, you should lean into it. Lean into the fear and lean into anything uncomfortable.
I mean, I'm trying. It
gets less uncomfortable each and every time.
Are you at this point where you're uncomfortable, or no? You're just completely comfortable?
No, there's certain points. I mean, there's certain times where that happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
When do you feel the most uncomfortable?
Like just in general, or
when
on
you're
the podcast?
Podcasting?
Like, I'm uncomfortable right now. Earlier today, my interaction with the attendant. He almost kicked me out, by the way.
The parking attendant.
Yeah, he was like
Mario.
He was like, "You're gonna need to park on the street." I'm like, "Fuck, Alexis is gonna kill me."
I know. I don't like people to pay for parking at the front, so I'm like, park him back. I don't know what his problem is today. He's on a sick one, and he's just like enforcing the parking situation, even though there's like 8 spaces available still. Like, nobody's here. It's 2:00.
He's doing his job.
I'm not hating.
You're patronizing the man for doing his job.
It's just because I've been here before, and
Christ.
It's like nobody's there.
I'm with the parking Nazi right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't say that on the air.
Oh,
okay?
sorry.
We're cutting that out.
Are you really?
No.
Oh. Do you edit stuff out?
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
Do you?
No.
Really?
That whole thing is from start to finish.
It's just raw.
There you go.
That's crazy. Wow. I do edit because of the reason that when people are being interviewed, they do get nervous. So they'll say shit. Or maybe they're just like too in the moment and then something slips out and then I don't want to risk their job. Or
do you ask them like, hey, is there anything that you want me to cut out?
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
And they actually tell you what to cut out?
One time I had my cousin on here and she's a teacher. And I should probably be talking more into this. My boyfriend's going to kill me if this sounds like shit. So I had my cousin on an episode and she kind of got really too comfortable. And, you know, she was like, she called me like as I was driving home and she's like, hey, I'm going to need you to cut this and that and this and that. And I'm like, I got you.
Yeah.
I don't want you to lose your job, you know? She wasn't saying anything crazy. It's just like, I don't know. Some people.
She's like, yeah, I took acid before going to work.
Some people would be, if they
selling
found
drugs
out
in
or
the
something.
parking lot.
Yeah, shit like that. So,
I got you.
So yeah, I do it in their favor, so that way they're not like scared to do another episode.
I just leave all that shit in there.
Yeah.
I tell them before. I say, hey,
okay, interesting.
Just remember that everything that goes into the mic stays. So watch yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Do you say the word Latinx?
No. Well, I have to.
You have to.
When I read it.
Okay.
I don't say it or use it. I don't even get it, to be honest.
That was in your first episode, and you asked that question. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm going to ask this question back. Because I actually do ask people that question sometimes.
Okay.
And I just want to know your response.
Wait, who did I ask?
Shmandy.
I asked him?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you do.
Oh.
You did. So I wanted to see.
What was his response?
His response was...
something dumb, probably. Something so far left a hippie would say.
It was more just like they'll use it if I think to make people feel comfortable or something.
If you don't use it, you'll lose it. Is the concept he was going for.
I actually don't remember him saying that.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
I edit that part out, probably.
You want me to edit that out?
No. That's it. Anything that I'm saying on it, you don't have to edit shit.
Okay, got it.
This is going to be the easiest publishing for you possible.
We'll see, because sometimes I edit my own shit out because I'm like, I shouldn't have said that.
Oh, okay. Just watch what you say.
I can't. I'm like a loose cannon. I just say shit sometimes.
It's a good practice. It's really good practice.
Yeah. I think this whole podcast in general is like good practice for me to speak and say things correctly eventually.
I say things incorrectly all the time.
Yeah.
But it helps me for the next time.
Okay, so that word is like very controversial, right?
Is it still?
Yeah.
Yeah? It was a controversy back in like 2020. It's still a thing now?
It pisses people off.
Really?
Yeah.
What about Chicano or Chicana?
I don't think those words piss people off as much as Latinx or Latin. There's a new word.
Are you Mexican?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you?
Yeah.
I knew it.
What generation are you?
I'm first gen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Would you consider yourself a Chicana?
I can say that. I call myself Latina more than anything. So, yeah.
So
I'm more comfortable saying
Chicana.
Yeah.
But if somebody said that you were Chicana, how would you feel about that?
I'm okay with it, but I wouldn't claim it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Especially because I don't speak Spanish and like,
I think that's the main basis of a Chicana, right?
I get a lot of shame for not speaking Spanish.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
It makes me feel crippled in a way.
Really?
Yeah. Like my insides are like, oh shit. Like, why don't I know how to speak Spanish? I know why. And I can still learn, but I don't have enough people to practice with.
Oh, what about your boyfriend? Does your boyfriend
like,
speak
don't
Spanish?
speak to me in Spanish right now, please.
Does your boyfriend speak in Spanish?
Speaking in Spanish? No, he doesn't speak in Spanish.
Do I speak English? Jesus Christ.
No, he also struggles with speaking Spanish as well. Yeah.
All right. Bocho power.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know bocho means rotten in Spanish?
Yeah.
That's dumb, right?
They give us like the worst names.
Rotten.
Yeah.
Why are we rotten? Is it because it's like spoiled, right?
Yeah, basically.
We're spoiled because we don't... Actually, they should be the ones that are pochos because they're spoiled because they know 2 fucking languages.
Right?
Bastards.
That's a privilege.
Yeah.
Right?
They're talking down on us because we're I was gonna say ancestral, but no, we sorry, I don't know where that came from.
That's a different topic we can get into too, because Mexicans have a problem with incest.
Do they really?
They really do.
Oh my god!
I have a friend who her parents are actually cousins.
What?
Yeah, they're not like first cousins, second cousins. I think they might be like 4th or 5th cousins, but they're cousins.
Dude, that makes a lot of sense because my family tree looks kind of fucked up.
That's why a lot of Mexicans have like football heads and like, you know, like smaller eyes.
I actually have a theory about that, about smaller cone heads.
Yeah.
I think because like my head is like perfectly round.
You have a perfect head. You just said, wow.
Yeah, so.
Conceited.
Yeah. It's really good. It looks good on camera. That's why I have a video podcast. Because if my head like looked like a cone, I wouldn't put that shit on the internet.
Yeah, or maybe you would wear like a hat or something.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You had a hat on earlier. You took it off.
I did.
Okay, but
there was too much shadow on my face, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna have that.
Here's my theory, right? I think you have a cone head is because it's because you were born vaginally.
Yes.
And your head is already like a sponge and it's like little squishy.
Yeah.
And when you're going through the vagina, it shapes your head.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Like a toothpaste type of thing, right? So it shaped your head to that cone.
So that's why, there's
I was a C-section baby, so it just, my mom got cut and.
Are you telling me I have a cone head?
No.
I was like, are you calling me out right now? Okay.
I wouldn't do that on the podcast.
That would make sense for a lot of people that have cone heads. But as far as like Mexicans that have like football heads, you know.
It's the same thing, right?
It's incest.
Or is it wide?
I don't know. It's wide.
It's incest.
It's wide, yeah.
Okay. What else you got?
I cut you off.
I know.
You said, I think you were trying to say ancestral.
Yeah, but I said ancestral.
And then, okay, I'm going to stop cutting you off. Go ahead.
Right. Whose turn is it?
Your turn.
Okay, my
You're
turn.
still speaking.
All right.
About ancestral.
When did you start podcasting and why?
Me?
Yeah, go.
I started last year in November.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
It's almost been a year.
Yeah? Are you going to do anything fun for your year?
I think I'm just going to copy you. I think this whole thing, I'm just going to copy every single thing you do.
That is amazing.
Just going to do a bunch of clips. And
that was cool.
It was
Did you
cool.
like that?
I did. There were points where I was like, wait, what's going on with the audio? Like,
really?
No.
Like what happened?
What happened was I didn't realize it was going to be all these clips. Mm-hmm. So when I would hear part of a conversation,
it got cut off.
It got cut off.
It was like,
and then I was like, Mindbuzz. What's going on? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that threw me off.
Oh, yeah. I didn't really put it in the description. Hey, this is, or I should have set that at the beginning. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, thanks for tuning in. This is our 100th episode. It's just going to be a whole bunch of clips.
Yeah, maybe you should have said that. So I'm probably going to say that.
Okay.
On my
learn from my mistakes.
I am learning from your mistakes. I'm so excited to talk to a podcaster.
You've never had one on?
I've never had a podcaster on.
Well, I'm like the best one in Southern California right now. So
yeah, there's a community of podcasters, and I was like, I want to talk to more podcasters, but I'm kind of a little shy because I'm so new to all of it, mm-hmm. and I'm not comfortable like with setting up sound and everything yet. So I'm just like, it kind of makes me like still like hesitant to invite people.
You don't need to.
So I'm glad you reached out to me because I was like, I want to eventually reach out to more podcasters, but it's a little intimidating.
Why?
Because I don't know my shit yet.
What do you need to know? It's just talking.
I know, but I just like, I need
You're creating that for yourself.
Yes. I just need to, I'm going to start writing things down.
Okay.
First of all, so I appear more organized.
Okay, so write that down. Do you have like a pen and paper?
No, my phone's up here. You set it up.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have pen or paper right now. But anyway, I'm really excited that you're on. So I'm just like, I have all these questions for you, and yet I have nothing in my head.
No, that's fine. I mean, whatever question you have.
So where do you plan on going with your podcast?
I want to create a business out of it.
Okay.
I want that's the number one goal. At the beginning, it was just something to do because I was bored. Mm-hmm. And after a few months, I was like, wow, I really like this.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So you're pretty committed to it?
Right now, yes. 100%, yes.
Do you?
It's my life.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you like the video aspect of podcasting?
I do.
You do?
I feel because in the climate that we're in right now, the way the world is, I think that video is, I mean, if you have a component of video, like you can be 100% audio.
Right.
Like, honestly, I try not to be dogmatic about this, but I'm just going to give you my personal experience with that.
Okay.
I've always wanted to have a video podcast in the beginning.
Oh.
So I think that's where it stemmed from.
So you didn't start doing video until...
About a year ago.
A year ago. Were you already with your production team?
Yes, I was with myself throughout the whole time.
Okay, so you're on a label?
Yes.
Okay. They don't help you with production or anything?
No.
Really?
Of course not.
Okay, what are they there for?
They get us sponsors.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. So they get you sponsors. Do they give you a place to record or anything?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
That's all 100% on my dime.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, they have helped me. They've gotten me guests.
Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to like shame or shit. I was just like really curious to know like what
that entails.
Yeah, what is this like? How do you guys work together?
Gotcha. It's more of like a community, like a club. Basically, we all get together at least once a month and throw an event, and each person on the label does like their own little part. Okay. Was it last month? Last month we had an event. So My Grito's a podcast network, and it's also a music label, an independent music label.
Okay.
So we had one of our artists, Maria Sanchez, play for that night, and a couple of other bands. We set up a podcasting table in the back.
Were you recording?
Yeah, we were recording.
Oh, that's so cool.
I haven't posted any of the stuff yet because I've been super busy.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm looking to upload that in the next couple of hours. Can
you give like you don't have to answer this, I can cut it out too. Can you give a ballpark of how much money you've spent on equipment?
Whoa.
Like an idea? Just out of curiosity.
I know the number. I think it's like somewhere, it sounds dumb. It sounds stupid.
I want to hear it.
No. I'll tell you off air.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
It's more than $1,000. I'll tell you that much.
More than $1,000?
Oh, you know what?
I feel like that's...
It's because I have two setups.
Okay.
I have three. So me and Amber do the Mindbuzz, of course. We have another YouTube podcast called On Our Way.
Okay.
Which we do in the car.
That's cute.
And then 3 is our mobile, which we take with us if we're doing an event, we're doing somebody else's event. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where like the business aspect comes in. We're a on-site and off-site podcast production company. Uh-huh. So we go to the client's space, we set up, we break down, we do all their everything, pretty much.
Okay. What the hell?
Yeah.
Can I hire you guys?
Sure. Do you live all the way out here?
I live in Torrance.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, I don't even want to explain it.
Okay, don't explain it.
Yeah.
Explain it off air.
I will. It's terrible.
But it's a lot of money, but it's an investment.
Yeah.
I feel I have the type of personality where if I want to do something, I go balls deep.
Yeah.
I go all in. It's all in or nothing. I try not to half-ass anything that I do.
You're going into debt for it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
But people go into debt for good things, you know?
Yeah, it is an investment at the end of the day. I'm asking for myself in a way because I want to know how much I should be investing at this stage. And I just want to have an idea of like I said, you're the first podcaster I've interviewed. So I just want to learn from that.
Okay. Yeah. It's more of like what... and this is my personal beliefs into this creative space. Like, there's really no number that you can put on it. I think it's just how much do you want to invest into your creative or your craft.
Yeah. Okay.
Your creative craft.
Yeah, because right now I do see it as a hobby, and I like talking to people. I feel like
You're really good at it.
Really?
Yeah.
I struggle internally, but thank you. I like talking to people, especially people that have like, a craft. I want to learn more about why, and I'm interested in entrepreneurs specifically.
We're crazy people.
Yes. There's a lot going on in an entrepreneur's life.
Like I'm building a budget right now for like $15,000 and I don't have $15,000, but I have to pretend that I have $15,000 for that.
Right. Yeah, that's what credit cards are for.
True. Small loans. Get into debt, people. This whole podcast is just about getting people into debt.
Yeah.
Merrill Lynch.
Don't save your money.
Sponsored by Merrill Lynch and Bank of America, ladies and gentlemen.
For real?
No, it's not. But act like it is.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
I like her.
Merrill Lynch?
Jane Lynch?
Oh, I don't know.
Did you confuse?
No, David Lynch.
David Lynch. Yeah. My boyfriend really likes David Lynch.
He's a really good director. Have you seen Blue Velvet?
No.
Oh my God, dude.
What the hell?
You need to see it.
We saw that movie where there's like a fucking baby looks like an alien and it's like a really old one of his movies. I think maybe like one of his first movies.
There's a candy colored clown man.
It's like in black and white.
I don't know.
And yeah, it was a really creepy movie.
Oh, I don't remember that one.
You do?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay. Anyway.
Amber, can you pull that up?
Amber. Amber, you should have been here. Just saying. It's funny because I kind of know you guys, but I don't know you guys actually. This is the first time I'm meeting you guys.
Oh, that's cool.
But thanks. Nice to meet you, Amber. No, it's just because when you listen to people's podcasts, you get to know them and you don't really have to personally know them. Yeah, and I find that interesting.
That is kind of weird though. If you think
it's like almost stalkerish.
Kind of.
Right?
Like I'm going to listen to you for 4 hours.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to listen to for sure his first episode that he has ever recorded.
Oh my God. Those are so terrible.
It wasn't that bad. My first episode is really like, I sounded like I was far away from like the mic.
You're like a mile away.
Yeah. This might sound still a little shaky because I keep turning my head from the mic, but you know.
It gives it character.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. I also wanted to get into you doing stand-up. Okay. I also think that's interesting.
Awesome.
Because that's tying everything back to your sense of humor and like trauma and shit. So like explain, when did you start doing stand-up and why?
I want to say I started, I want to say like 2 months ago, I want to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
I've been writing material for about a year, 2 years. And figured, what the hell am I writing for? Like, what am I going to do with this?
Right.
Am I going to give it to somebody? Am I going to let somebody else do it?
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've just gained confidence after the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And when I listen back, which I don't do very often, but when I feel like the conversation that I was talking to somebody with, that can be a bit, I go back, I listen to it, and if they laugh, I feel that I'm going to use it.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
I can... It's an art. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's just getting your mindset in a different way. And I'm all about challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that this stand-up it's very hard.
It is. I've done stand-up, I think, like 3 times. And it was so painful. I bombed every time. And the last 2... no, actually every time I laughed myself off the stage.
You did it right.
Yeah. It's very painful. So where was the first place that you did stand-up at?
It was. I tell this story. I don't. Well, I'm a liar because I don't tell the story very often. But the first time that I actually really got a laugh in front of a crowd was, I want to say, about a year ago. I was hosting an open mic at the coffee shop, and
do you want to give a shout out to the coffee shop?
Shout out Horchateria Rio Luna, Paramount, California. So we do open mics there. It's been about a year since we've been there. Last Thursday of every month. Try to, but
wait, you've been doing stand up there about a year?
No, I'm hosting this.
Yes.
So I host the open mic.
And you just started 2 months ago.
I just started doing stand up at other places 2 months ago.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I'm hosting that night, and I was thinking about this joke in my head throughout the whole night. Mm-hmm. And there was this kid that came up and did stand up. He bombed. Mm-hmm. Like, he totally bombed. And I thought to myself, if this kid can come up and bomb in front of everybody and still have a good time, like, what are the chances that I bomb and make a fool of myself? I'm already making a fool of myself going up there and hosting. Why not add more to it and to see if I get a laugh? If I get a laugh, cool. If I don't, then that's cool too, because I'm still hosting it. Right.
Yeah.
And those people have to stay there. Mm-hmm. So, like, what are they going to do, walk out? But I tried the joke. I got I disassociated myself from that moment.
Okay.
Because I asked Amber, how did I do? Like, I completely blacked out. I don't remember. It was all a blur. It was just like, 1, 2, 3, punch. I guess I got a laugh. Mm-hmm. The crowd was crazy.
That's funny.
They laughed. I sat down and I asked Amber, how did I do? And she told me, she was like, no, it was funny. Like, people laughed.
Yeah.
And then even because her parents were in the room, and they said, like, after, they're like, oh, you're a comedian now, right? And I just kind of like brushed it off. But from that moment, I was like, I could do this. Like, it's a possibility. Even if I don't get like world famous, right, at least I'm trying something that I've always wanted to do.
Yeah. It is crazy because when I did stand up, I couldn't get myself to focus on writing. And it's crazy because writing is the biggest like factor
that's the core thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until later, where I was like, fuck. And then I had written something up for the next time. And then I still didn't focus on like really like my timing or anything, which is also another important factor. So because of that, like that's another reason why I bombed. And I mean, because you can tell these jokes to people, your friends, and they'll be like, yeah, that's funny. And then if you don't say it right, like if you don't get the timing, then it's not that funny.
Right. I heard something on a book yesterday, actually. What is it called? Forgot. Anyways, it's a really good book that I forgot it.
Okay.
But the author was saying, it was about comedy, about writing comedy, and they said that if you like pull up one of your favorite comedians on YouTube, cut off the sound, and just read the subtitles. Don't look at the comic. Just read what he's saying.
Right.
9 times out of 10, it's not funny.
Right.
It's the timing and the personality that's put in it, your body language, all that, all those like nerdy stuff about comedy. I just studied for about a year and a half. Like that. I had all this information. I tried it on the podcast. I listened back to it on the podcast, and that's what kind of gave me the confidence and the courage to go up there and try it. I mean, I bomb each and every time, but it's fun. Yeah.
It was fun. The only thing for my experience, I went to some place in Koreatown. And I'm going to ask you this question after I say this story, but I just didn't feel like I belonged in the environment. And a lot of it had to do with there mostly being a lot of just like white women and a lot of gay white guys. And not that I have anything against those type of people. It was more just like, I didn't see like enough Latino people. I didn't see enough like people from the hood, like trying to like present or share a story. So I couldn't like relate, and I didn't think a lot of them were funny. And I kind of just like struggled finding a right place where I felt comfortable, I guess. And so for that, I just was like, no, I don't think I'm going to do it again, especially not at that place. Like it's not a good atmosphere for me.
I think you just need do you want me to retort to that, or
yeah,
do you have
sure.
a question for that?
Go ahead.
You have a question? Or okay. Just shop around the open mics, see where you fit in, where you don't fit in. But the ultimate goal is to get stage time, to work out your jokes.
Right.
Like, who gives a shit if you feel comfortable or not? It's not about feeling comfortable. We do things to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And each and every time we do it,
yeah,
we get better and better at it.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think whether the room, like, and it's a learning curve too. Like when you go in a all white room, like my jokes that work in a all Mexican American, all Mexican Latino room is not going to work in a full white room.
Yeah.
One of the first
Not
times
always.
that I tried stand up was in a room full of white people. Like one of the very first times, it was a open mic in Pasadena. Mm-hmm. And at first...
Where was it? At the Ice House?
At the Old Town Pub.
Okay.
No, I haven't done any comedy clubs. Not yet, by the way. I think I want to say within the next couple weeks, I want to try them because I'm fairly new. I'm a baby infant. Like I'm just sperm coming out of a whatever. I'm not even full grown. Right? I'm not even a heartbeat yet. But what was I going with this? Forgot.
You were at the Old Town Pub.
I was at the Old Town Pub. This guy invited me out because he just did my podcast, and I asked, or he asked me, "Hey, he knew that I was practicing stand-up, and he asked me, "Hey, dude, do you want to, like, our act isn't here yet. Like, can you help me and buy some time?"
Yeah.
And I was like, at first I wasn't going to do it, right?
Yeah.
Amber was already shaking. She was already getting nervous for me. And she was like, I'm going to go outside. Like, I'm going to go in the car. I'm like, what the fuck? You're my support animal. Like, I need you here.
Yeah.
Can you record me at least? And she got over it. And she stayed. I went up on stage. It was a whole bunch of white people. Like, so much. Like, it's Pasadena. Come on. And they loved me.
Really?
Like I went up there,
Nice.
and it's because I was playing the Mexican jerk, like being scared of all the white people in there, being the the darkest person in the room.
Yeah. That's a good go-to.
Right. It worked out. It was fun, but I think just leaning into things that you are uncomfortable with really helped. Because at first I was going to tell him no, but my knee-jerk reaction was no, but I'm trying to turn those knee-jerk reactions to fuck it.
Yeah.
Doing it, you know?
Yeah, totally. The reason I did or attempted stand-up was because that was something I also wanted to do. I had always been thinking about that for some time. And I was at a point in my life where like my health was kind of like freaking me out.
It's all steroids.
Yeah, my lungs were like they're still fucked up, but like when it first happened, I was kind of like, fuck, it sucks not being able to breathe. And I was like, if I die, like I might as well just like try all this shit that I wanted to do.
Yeah, why not? We're 30 years old, dude. We're like, this is my midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Honestly. The stand-up thing is my midlife crisis right now. You have no idea.
Yeah, so it was kind of just something that I was like, fuck it. Like, if I don't do it and I just like die and like I've never experienced doing it, then I just wasted time. and I don't want to waste time anymore.
Yeah.
But I was going to go back to this question about how important it is to be amongst other Latinos, whether you're a no sabo kid or you're like fluent in Spanish or like, you know, all the different types of Latinos that there are. Why do you think it's important that your label is like kind of doing that in a way, like bringing more Latinos together or helping them out? Is that really important for you, or you just kind of stumbled upon luck?
It's becoming more important now because, I mean, my family background has always been, they never talked about like Latino or Latina. Oh, I'm this type of Mexican. I'm second generation, third generation. This is all fairly new to me.
Okay. What are you, first gen, second?
I'm third generation.
Okay.
I am fucked up. I feel like the third generation Mexican Americans are the most fucked up.
You think?
I think. I know.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
Explain. Or why do you think?
Why do I think? I think, well, I can only speak for myself, and I don't want to generalize it, but
okay.
I think that it has to do with religion, and this is me and my my thinking cap. It has to do a lot with religion, about the turmoil in Los Angeles in the 1970s. It just has a lot to do with gangs and gang violence back in, you know, the late 60s, early 70s. Mm-hmm. And just the overall state of what America used to look like in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. I think that has a lot of that generational trauma has birthed me.
And so you think that's taken a toll in your generation of being a Mexican American?
In my family, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, everyone's experience being Latino or Latina or Latinx, like everyone's experience is different. And I relate to a lot of people that, you know, are fluent in Spanish. And then I relate to a lot of people that don't speak Spanish and they're like third generation, fourth generation. Yeah. So it's kind of hard to find like my place in being Mexican American. Yeah,
it's the whole identity thing is just an ongoing topic.
Totally.
It's just especially now that I'm talking to a lot more Latino, Chicano, Latinx people, people of Mexican descent in general, right? Mm. I've never understood that until just within this year about identity, because I found out that I was 80% indigenous Mexican, and that it was weird for me because I tell people that and they're like, "What the fuck? Like, what the hell?" They're like, "Okay, I can see it."
Yeah,
right?
That means your DNA like is very strong within your family, I guess, right?
Right.
Yeah,
I guess.
For me,
maybe you can tell me about my DNA because I have no clue.
Because I did an ancestry test and I came out to be like 60% indigenous to Mexico.
From where?
Jalisco and then Yucatan. My dad's side is Jalisco and my mom's from Yucatan. Okay. So those are, and then obviously I'm like Spaniard because they raped my ancestors. So
okay. And you're 2% black. Remember that? Yeah,
I'm actually like I think 4 or 5% black.
Oh, that's what's up.
But yeah, so I've always known how important it is, at least later on in my adulthood, I would claim that, to be amongst other Latinos or to help other Latinos. And that's actually how I came across your podcast, because I was looking for other Latino podcasters so that way I can like, you know, eventually learn from you guys or like learn from other people and feel a little bit more like, oh, I relate to that. I relate to this person's story kind of, or like, you know, they have a similar experience to me. And I think that's important for me at least. So yeah, so that's actually how I came across you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And,
Was it a reel? Was it an actual episode? Was it YouTube? What was it? Do you remember?
I actually was...
Was it a hashtag? What was it?
I was looking... I think it might have been a hashtag. Like, there's like... I don't know what the hot... Do you hashtag like Latino podcast?
Sometimes I do.
I think that's what I looked up. I was looking up... And specifically, I wanted to look at people in LA. Because I'm not... No offense, but like I can't really meet or reach out to people in other states. So no offense to the people in other states. So that was my thing.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that's her Spaniard percentage of her DNA.
Anyway, so now you're saying that like later on in life, you're realizing it is important to help out other Latinos?
Yeah, I think in general, it's good to help out just anybody in whatever you're doing, like in a community, right? But
right.
I think that's the thing now. It's becoming popularized now. Have you heard of the platform Chicano Hollywood?
No.
I'll share it to you, but
okay.
And it's Johnny Murillo. He's a film director. He has this company called Chicano Hollywood. And I think after talking to him on my podcast, and he just had this rhetoric of Latinos working together to build a community, and each of us having a piece of the community to really create something. And I think just the gist of that podcast is that I'm moving the chair. It wasn't.
It's fine.
All right.
We only have a couple minutes left, but yeah.
Okay.
Just to give you a heads up.
Okay. But through that rhetoric, like it opened my eyes to where I was like, you know what? It still lingered for a little bit, but after that, I thought about it. The last conference that I went to, it really opened my eyes because there's a lot of people that we should be working with,
right?
Not working against. I feel that there's a lot of gatekeeping in this community, and
totally. That was another one of my questions.
I don't like it. I remember you sent it to me.
Yeah.
I've been practicing this for a week and a half.
Okay.
But there's a lot of that, and a lot of it's hard. Even Amber, I've had a falling out with a podcaster friend, and she told me, she was like, you know what, the podcasting community is weird. And I was like, it's weird because there's a lot of people that are, it's very competitive. It's very competitive.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm not competitive. I just want things to look and sound good. I want to help people. I want, if people would ask me like questions about, like, I'm an open book.
Yeah. And
I don't like that. I don't like that about the community, that there's gatekeeping. I feel that we're all doing one thing. There's an audience for anything, dude. Like, there's probably a fucking foot fetish podcast that we can tune into right now after this.
Yeah.
Look for it.
You're right.
But there's audiences out there for everybody. And what Amber always says, she says that there's enough for everybody to go around, because she comes from the entrepreneur side, right? Like her and her family have grown this business for 7-8 years already. And it to her, like, it wouldn't have happened without like the other people working all together. Of course, there was a lot of copycats, like back in those days, even now.
Right.
But there's enough for everybody. And come on, it's just a podcast. People are, come on, dude. Like, how competitive do you get? Like, you're not making thousands of dollars on something, you know, but it's competitive. But I mean, that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that was why I wanted to ask, because I mean, I can ask questions or look up questions, but I feel like I don't get the right answers. And I think the things that set or hold Latino people in at least the entertainment industry back is that there's too much gatekeeping. And that's why I asked you that question, is because I think it's important for us to, at least in our own community, be able to like uplift each other. So that way we can like navigate our ways through this entertainment industry that's kind of really gatekept by a lot of people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so I think we'll end here, unfortunately. I feel like I had a lot of other questions to ask you, but I guess I'll just have you guys on another episode.
Yeah.
And do you have any things you want to say to end?
Thanks for having me. This was awesome.
Thanks for being here.
Of course.
Yeah, we'll give another shout out to your podcast.
Awesome. So who's gonna do it? You, me?
You
or me?
You should do it.
Okay. So what do I do? What do you want me to do?
Just say, like, listen to the Mindbuzz. You're on YouTube, and
you got it right there.
You're on Spotify. Are you everywhere else?
How about take this from me? Be like, okay, Gill, thanks for being on the podcast. Go ahead and share where we can find your stuff.
Yes, Gill, thanks for being on the podcast. Share where we can find your podcast.
Awesome.
And your stuff.
Oh, cool. So you can find the Mindbuzz Podcast on YouTube and Spotify. And I mean, basically wherever you listen to stuff, you can find the podcast. And right now we are mostly, I was going to say traffic, like human traffic. No, I'm terrible at this. This is weird.
It is weird.
It's weird being interviewed. But anyways, you can find the podcast where I interview people.
And you don't human traffic.
And I don't human traffic yet. We're looking at different vans for that.
Right.
But yeah,
a lot of money to invest in that.
Exactly. Come check. I put a lot of money into the podcast. I'm putting it now into human trafficking.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
You should probably stop.
It's just getting worse.
It's getting weirder. Okay, we'll just end here.
No, go to the Mindbuzz Podcast on YouTube and Spotify, and come check us out. We're on IG. I also host a open mic in Paramount every last Thursday. The next one is October 26th. So music, poetry, comedy. Come hang out. Costumes.
Okay. Cool. See you later.
Peace out. Thanks for having me.